Hello, my name is Stephen Williams, author of Ingenious Britain, 101 innovations that have changed the world. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how Florence Nightingale became the pioneer for modern nursing, bringing professionalism, organisation and new practices to this vital vocation. In 1853, the Crimean War broke out between the Russian Empire that wanted to expand its control of the Crimean Peninsula and a combined force of the British, French and Ottomans who wanted to halt its advances within the region. The war raged with battles, sieges and bombardments and eventually resulted in a victory for the British, the French and the Ottomans in 1856. This war, like so many before it, was incredibly bloody, with a huge number of casualties and lives lost. But unlike wars that had been fought before, this one was extensively documented, with detailed written reports and, for the very first time, photographs. Now, this documentation made its way back to Britain and appeared in many national newspapers, highlighting the atrocious conditions faced by the men in the military, and in particular, the dire treatment of injured soldiers. Newspaper reports of the awful conditions at the military hospital had roused the public and driven outrage in Britain that those serving their country were receiving such inadequate treatment. The Secretary of War responded by appointing a team of nurses to be headed by Nightingale and address the situation. So Florence Nightingale led this team of 38 nurses who went to staff an overseas hospital in Turkey for the British Army during the war. Seeing that the conditions in the hospital were horrific, and as patients arrived in large numbers following each battle, that their injuries were very severe, Nightingale and her team immediately realised the need to reorganise the hospital and ensure that it was sanitised regularly. They quickly focused on the importance of organising medical supplies, of providing basic sanitation and ventilation, using clean bandages, and ensuring that the water was drinkable, as it was often administered to patients even though it was contaminated. Nightingale quickly became known as the Lady with the Lamp, as she would assess patients' conditions around the clock, checking them through the night, with real dedication from her and her team, which led to the term "doing the rounds" in modern language. Quite remarkably, the hospital fatality rate dropped in just a matter of months, drawing attention from both government ministers and medical practitioners. One of the key legacies that she also brought to healthcare was that of keeping records on patients' condition, so that this accurate data could be used for both specific treatment of individual patients, but also a broader approach that could be used in healthcare. Now, if we think to the 21st century, data is the foundation for any decision making that takes place in nursing and in hospitals. Upon her return back to Britain, Nightingale's approach began to be adopted, proving its value in civilian hospitals as well as military ones. And as recovery rates of patients increased dramatically, many wanted to observe her practices. She decided, therefore, in 1860 to set up an official training programme called the Nightingale School for Nurses. And over the following years, these practices began to be adopted in hospitals throughout Britain, and over the following decades, in hospitals overseas as well, going on to be seen as integral to nursing and healthcare more broadly. Prior to Florence Nightingale, nursing was considered a low job, where it even existed, with very little benefit to patients. But thanks to her dedication and professionalism, which included sanitising wards, cleaning the wounds of the injured, monitoring their condition and recording data, nursing is now an integral part of modern healthcare and a vital profession within society. So if you like this video, then please press the thumbs up button below, subscribe to the channel, and perhaps get a copy of the book Ingenious Britain. My name is Stephen A.T. Williams, and thank you very much for watching.